right, let's go.
Relapsing right now, nigga, I need some drink. Right. Wash it down with Percocets. If it ain't on EP2 pink. Right. I lay my
he just dropped his album too, though.
Let's
go.
And she found out what I made today. She might faint.
Yeah.
I've been out there smoking stink.
What?
I take bitches out the country. Baby, I don't date. F&N. Vegas body shape. I'm in the striker. Just kids gotta do drill. Out of state. Dollar signs. Make a wine. Slim thick, you know she mine.
Yeah.
All these bitches want names ever since I signed. She said she never seen a May that shit parked outside. Pop a bean, now I'm fried. Pop a bean, now I'm blind. Yeah, this shit on the floor. Oh, you went 4x4. I bet you'll cry on your face and still be in line. Don't trust no hoe.
Let him load in.
I had to talk with the Zoe. Nigga, that's just what it is. Perkins, I took about 4. You ever hopped off a chopper? Then went straight to the jet. Go there and lay with some peas. To get that shit to the jacks. Hustle this shit in my jeans. All I know is flex. Worldwide sniper for real. All I know is sex. The system on that bullshit. Wait till they free sex. There's queens on the Michelin S. I'ma make sure I flex with my ex. Hey, the M got an add on the S. Watch the labels, they put you in debt. People saying on me, got left. You can smell that and lean on my breath.
Hold on.
Relapsing right now, nigga, I need some drink. Right. Wash it down with Percocets. If it ain't on EP2 pink. Right. I lay mine on blues, on my shoes, I went safe. And she found out what I made today. She might faint. Hopping out there, smoking stink. I take bitches out the country, baby, I don't date. F&N, Vegas body shape. I'm in the striker, just kids gotta do drill. Out of state, pop a bean. Now I'm fried. Pop a bean. Now I'm blind.
What's good? Buen dia, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to this. My name is Saadiq Spears, and I'm your host. It is not a podcast. It is a show. I hope y'all like the first episode, the first installment. This will be the second episode. And, we got a long ways to go. We do. But I love the topics for today. Great feedback on the first episode. I think it hit around 350 views. And although I did some promo, I did do some promo for the trailer. I was relaxing on the release just because I wanted to see what we could do. And we doing something. I'm really excited for just what's to come. So we have great topics today. I'm actually very excited. The first installment I felt the first episode I felt like was very media heavy. And now, we talk about South Park. We talk about a couple of other stuff that's a little bit more topical in current events. Now, again, people ask, what is this show? What is this podcast about? Man, this show is about digesting current issues in a fresh and witty perspective. Really simple. And shout out Perspective, the network. Okay. The first topic that I do want to get into, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about, but the first topic I think is the most topical, and I spoke about it on my story, is South Park and the direct headshot that they sent to our POTUS, President Trump. I have a couple of clips that I wanted to play from South Park, but a little bit to introduce, because I've been watching South Park for a while. Keep in mind, I do not watch adult animation shows other than The Boondocks, Rick and Morty, and South Park. So those are really the only ones. I don't find them funny like that. But South Park I find particularly funny. One, because I feel like just the voices in Middle America is a funny concept. But on top of that, I feel like they've been very, very good with keeping current and making fun of current times, right? So there's specials like the COVID special or the vaccine special, or there's just so many. There was 4 during, I guess, quarantine that I really appreciated, because I just feel like nowadays media just hasn't been able to stay current and stay funny, and I feel like they are a great example of that, even though you may, and I think at times they can go too far. And in this episode, low key, I think they went a little too far. That's in my opinion, but we're gonna get into that. I've been seeing the promotion come around in the subways and other places. So I've been like, okay, new season's coming out. Okay, cool. Keep in mind, I don't really watch South Park on the season-to-season basis. I watch it whenever, and I watch the specials, but I do not watch South Park on a regular. So when my girlfriend was like, hey, new South Park episode's coming out, I'm like, why is she telling me this? And I guess the whole point was that everybody knew that they were about to send some direct shots toward the president. Why? Because CBS, and I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're under Paramount. So the parent company, same company that fired Stephen Colbert, could have fired South Park because of the way that they've handled and talked about the Trump administration. So I guess that sets the scene for these clips that I'm about to play. And these clips, if you're listening to this on an audio broadcast, these clips do not do it justice for what we've seen. I'm not going to lie. That was some of the craziest stuff I've seen in modern day stuff, like actually trying to, I don't know, dissect somebody and rudely do it in like a very offensive way. Like that was what South Park did was very offensive. So I'm going to play a couple of clips and then we're going to talk about it. Obviously, all right, here we go. This is one.
Well, what'd he say? He said he's suing us for $5 billion.
Stupid idiots. Think they can mess with me, huh? Hey, Daniel.
I'm not in the mood right now. Another random bitch commented on my Instagram that you're on the Epstein list.
You already know they're always going to bring up the Epstein list. That's a fact.
Are you still talking about that?
Well, are you on the list or not? It's weird that whenever it comes up, you just tell everyone to relax.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about some particular points that I think about, but let's first just talk about the Trump scenes. So the first scene that came in was Trump, and it was like this big lead up, and I thought that Trump was just going to be like an animated, goofy character, like usually South Park does. But the first thing that I noticed is that Trump's face was on it. Like it, as soon as he turned around, it was Trump's face, and it was a complete mockery. Because why? Because it's just a weird cartoon character. Like they could have made it a little bit more, I guess, animated and then realistic, but they did that on purpose just to make a mockery of him. And it's low-key insane. So when he comes in and then they show him having a small penis, right, on a wall, right, calm jokes, but something that he keeps saying is I'll sue you, right? And you know why? Because they're getting attacked and they're being held up in litigation and being sued because Trump keeps suing a bunch of people, and especially the press and media. So him running around saying I'll sue you, I got a small penis, I don't know. It's similar to like white boy humor where it's like small dicks type of stuff, and they start making jokes about it, right? Understandable. Then he gets into the bed with Satan, and then starts trying to have sex with Satan, right? Saying that you're basically in bed with the devil, and in my opinion, not my opinion, but in my interpretation, having no morals, that you are literally with Satan. And it's just interesting to see it on this type of wide scale, man. Like it, not only was it funny, but it was just like, dang, like y'all got balls, man. Y'all got balls. And even when, I don't know, bringing in Jesus, because that was also like another theme within the show, is that they're bringing Jesus back. And that was like the season's kind of like ads that they've been running. They're bringing Jesus back. And in that show, Jesus came in and he was telling South Park, he's talking through his teeth, and he was like, y'all gonna get us canceled. Y'all are gonna get us canceled. Why are you doing this? Stop and shut up. He's the president of the United States. There's nothing you can do about it, basically. And it's funny because basically like the producers talking through these characters, and that's the type of media I like. Whether or not whatever you feel about it, I just feel like I like to see that type of sarcasm be put into adult animation, and it blends realism with comedy, which is always dope to see. And then the last scene that's how I knew it was just disrespect at that point. Like it's not even just jokes, comedy anymore. That was pure disrespect. It was like a headshot towards Trump. At the end, it was like, all right, it's this dude. I thought it was AI, but I don't think it's AI. It's this dude walking through the desert. I mean, it's Trump walking through the desert, and he's like falling. His ass is out. He starts flipping around, and then his penis comes up, and he's like, I'm Donald J. Trump, and I endorse this message. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. Call me a tyrant. I don't care. If I'm Trump, I'm getting that taken down. Y'all are not doing that. Y'all not putting all of me, and obviously it looks AI, it looks goofy, but y'all are not putting me on this huge huge show, and doing that type of disrespect, I'm not gonna lie, it's very disrespectful. But it was also funny. And given the times, I feel like it was pertinent. I liked it, and I liked the show. And yeah, that's my little take on South Park and what they were doing right there. Because man, that was ballsy. That was ballsy to see. Okay, second topic. This is interesting. A little more serious. A lot more serious. Now I'm getting FaceTime during that. A little more serious that I want to read, and this is somebody that not only do I know, but that has low-key helped me in my journey within finance. And I wanted to read one of his LinkedIn posts, and I'm not even going to say his name at the moment, just because I don't know if he'd want me to. But I want to read what he wrote. He used to work for Goldman Sachs. He was an intern and then got a final offer and then worked in the investment banking division. So I'm going to read it right now. I was a healthcare and TMT investment banker at Goldman Sachs, and what I saw inside would break most people. We don't talk about how Zoe had a seizure on the floor during our 2023 internship. We don't talk about how one intern flagged it to the staffer she isn't doing well. We don't talk about how that intern went back in and after and said, "I told you." We don't talk about how he didn't get a return offer. But I will. Because when I came back full time, I ended up cross-staffed with a TMT on a healthcare TMT deal. The VP on that deal worked us past the brink. 40-hour stretches, deliverables assigned at midnight, due by 9 a.m., told I was good to log off, then punished the next day for needing time to get back to the office. At one point, another analyst was quietly given a day off. I wasn't. I reported it once, twice, 3 times, no change. When I finally went to the staffer, she yelled, "I don't have time for this." I resigned shortly after. My bonus was held back. They sent a cease and desist. I'm 23, broke, and facing court over my apartment, but I have my voice and I'm not afraid of what happens next. Goldman Sachs isn't just a bank. It's the centerpiece of a system that builds prestige off of silence and then dares you to speak. I'm done being silent. A lot of things to unpack in that statement. And I guess I'll come from my perspective first, and I'll speak a little bit about the broader things that he's talking about. This is nuts to hear because I've worked at a top investment bank, and although my internship was very intense, it wasn't like this. But granted, though, I was not in investment banking. I was in sales and trading, and I could say for sales and trading, it was still very intense, right? Like I know interns that were drinking 3 cups of coffee a day, staying up too many hours that they should be, staying in the office too many hours they should be. I was working like 14, sometimes 16. Probably like 12 to like 14-hour days sometimes, and that would be my average. But I would have a cutoff for myself and said that I'm not going to risk my health for this. Now, there's some interns that I would come in the next morning and it feels like they did not go to sleep. They did not shower. Their hair looks crazy. We got a pitch the next morning, so they stood up all night trying to figure this out. And that's kind of like the energy that's around within finance. You know, you want to be the first one on the desk. You want to be the last one to leave if you're a junior. You want to make sure that you are the best. Nobody can beat you. Why? Because your seat can be filled. And that goes from the most junior level. But I feel like when I was watching people on the desk and on the teams and stuff like that, whether you're ED or VP, ED is executive director, right under managing director, then you have VP and then associate analyst intern, right? It did not matter it didn't even matter if you're MD. I felt like most people in that building or most people in those buildings feel like they have little job security at all. And I remember talking to some people about it and some people on the desk, and they're like, yeah, man, it's like it feels like I'm always in hot water. And as an intern, you know, shit, it is hot water. You know what I mean? Like let's say they're taking 60% back, you know, so that's not the greatest odds. And there's only a certain amount of time that you do have. And some of these people on that you're going against, knows this place, knows this. They got family on the street, but they got family in that building, and they know how to operate a little bit more because they've been walking those desks. They've been walking that street. They've been walking that floor for a while. So to come and read this, I've never experienced it to this extent. But then again, this is an investment banker. My hours were probably from like 6 to 10 if I'm working late. 6 a.m. to 10. I mean, normal investment banker hours are 9 to 2, 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. That's usual. So I guess I have to, being I guess a person that does enjoy life. Like I enjoyed seeing the sun often. To see this on an investment banker in the first couple of years is very, very alarming. And to the point where someone feels confident enough, he feels confident enough to be able to say it too, is a lot of kudos, because to be honest, this might get him blackballed. Truly, this might get him blackballed. Honestly, me talking about this right now might get me blackballed, because this is a little bit of the culture. And there's a lot of, when I was there, there's a lot of old school versus new school thinking and talk, right? I'm of the ilk that I like old school vibes, meaning I was there in a suit every day, try to be first on the desk, try to get the trade notes out, talking to people, working your room, doing that type of stuff. But that full suit stuff is like old school type of thinking. This type of work yourself to the brink is also old school type of thinking that I did not adopt. But a lot of interns and a lot of junior people are going to adopt that because they want to prove something. And they want to prove something to their desk. They want to prove something to their boss. And that right there is how this may happen. So for him to witness and see one of their interns have a seizure is sickening. It really is sickening. And I don't know, I'm gonna read it a little bit more, so you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to the end, because the one that did have a seizure did not get a return offer. There can be many factors to that, but I want to read the small portion that he spoke about when he became an investment banker after he got the return offer. Because when I came back full time, I ended up cross-staffed with TMT on a healthcare TMT deal. The VP on that deal worked us past the brink. 40-hour stretches, deliverables assigned at midnight, due by 9 a.m., 9-hour duration. Told I was good to log off, then punished the next day for needing time to get back to the office. At one point, another analyst was quietly given a day off. I wasn't. Man, what is this? This don't seem like modern day. This don't seem like modern day work, right? I understand finance is in its own lane, and a lot of people in finance look down on tech because tech, they give their workers everything and stuff like that, and they still get money. But finance, is where the grit is. It's where the grit is, where you get to have that confidence. But at some points, and this is where Gen Z is going to come into it. I'm going to talk about that. At some points, people are going to value and want that quality of life. My man did not get a day off while he saw other people. He said, I reported it once, twice, 3 times, no change. And when I finally went to the staffer, she yelled, I don't have time for this. Man, everybody's overworked. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me as well. It sounds like this is a system. It is a system that's at play. It's not just one person. One person is it is a system at play. I resigned shortly after. My bonus was held back. They sent a cease and desist. I'm 23, broke, and facing court over my apartment. That's insane. That's truly insane. That's truly insane. And the fact that his bonus was held, cease and desist, I mean, damn, is that serious? Is that serious? Let me go to the Gen Z point, and then I want to get to one of the comments by a friend of mine that made. But to go to the Gen Z point, a lot of baby boomers, millennials, gonna call Gen Z soft, right? as a generation we're growing up, we don't want to deal with a lot of the norms that the workplace typically has, whether or not that's, the microaggressions, or whether or not that's the excessive work hours when we could be getting the same amount of productivity and efficiency done in those amount of times. And again, I told you that I'm from the ilk of old school thinking where I like 10,000 hours. Now, granted, not every corporation deserves that from you. And I put a lot of that 10,000 hours a lot more into my businesses and stuff. But I like the idea of you got to put the work in to get what you want. That's a fact. But I feel like too many times millennials and baby boomers may look at situations like this and just be like, yo, he's soft. Yo, look at this soft shit. Look at this soft shit. Look at him trying to expose something. And it's like, man, like, y'all got to realize that the check that we're talking about right now, the check that maybe going from, it's probably like a $200K check, 200,000. I don't know if it's worth the seizure. I don't know if it's worth the no days off. I don't know if it's worth the 40-hour stretches. To me, I would say it's not. It's not worth that. And since he resigned, I would say it's probably not worth it either. And a lot of these corporations are going to have to catch up to the stuff that we're talking about, because at this moment, that's not worth it. I would tell and this is from around the finance people that I know. A lot of people do shit talk investment banking because of those long hours and because it's basically working you until you fall. Working you until you fall. And you're not going to feel satisfied ever. And there's a couple, let me get grace too. Because I know some people that worked at the firm that I worked at that lived, eat, and breathed this shit. This was in their bones. And that's a little bit different. Because, to be honest, those 16 hours that you're doing is not going to feel like nothing because it all is everything to you. And that's a little bit different than somebody going into finance and just thinking, I'm going to do this for a check. It's like the same people that I'd be talking about when they're going to med school and they're like, yeah, doctors make money. I'm going to go be a doctor. Man, good luck going through Orgo. And this is the same thing I'm talking about. You want to go into finance to make money, man, good luck going through investment banking. Like, it's at those times, sometimes it's not always worth it. Maybe you can go get an 80K job doing, I don't know, wealth management. And then on top of that, just go do something outside of work to be able to make up that extra money. But it's not always worth it to do it. And that's just my opinion. Not every bank is like this, obviously. Not every team is like this too. I wouldn't think Goldman Sachs as a firm is like this completely, because I don't think it is. But it might be Evercore in that specific team, and that's how they work. And they don't care. Obviously, they don't care. They sent him a cease and desist, trying to shut him up, and said, I'm holding your bonus. Because they wouldn't give him a day off. And mind you, I mean, this post only got 4,800 impressions, 51 comments, 45 reposts. It did not go that viral. They could quietly just sweep him under the rug. Easy. And if you're watching this, man, you have a seat up here. Of course, Gen Z platform. So you have a seat up here, of course. But they could just sweep him under the rug and blackball him like it's going to be nothing. And I don't know. I don't want to speak ill, but I don't know if JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or Barclays sees this and is going to be like, hey, I want to hire him. I don't know if they're going to do that anymore. And to be honest, with this job market too, and this revolving door that we've been seeing anyway, I don't know if it's the best chances. Okay. So I'm going to read a comment by Mike Hyman. Shout out Mike. This speaks volumes about your grace and strength. In business school, it's easy to get swept up in the prestige of investment banking or consulting, almost as if those are the only paths worth pursuing. Facts. While I respect those who choose that route, stories like yours are a powerful reminder that not every dollar is a good dollar. I'll repeat that. While I respect those who choose that route, Stories like yours are a powerful reminder that not every dollar is a good dollar. Thank you for sharing this insight. Wishing you strength and clarity as you move forward in this time of great challenge. I don't have any better words than that. Very sad story. I think he's continuing to post a little bit more about it. And again, oh, wow. Oh, yeah, he has a GoFundMe. I'll put the GoFundMe in the description. If anybody wants to donate or talk to or try to reach out, if you have a job offer, anything, to help him out. Okay. Moving and switching gears a little bit. All right, this is an interesting topic, man. I didn't think y'all would get me to talk about some stuff like this, but the T app is a good topic to talk about right now. Why? Because I think a lot of their users just got doxxed. Let me pull this up. T app doxxed. The reason why I want to talk about the T app is a little salacious, but it was people framing it. Oh, there's two different sides framing it. One, you have a lot of men speaking about how this is just an app that is just bashing men and anonymously allowing people to say whatever about somebody, or specifically about men, because this is. Let me back this up a little bit. The T app is. Let me just read the description, because I don't want to mess this up and then people be mad at me. So let me read the description. The T app is a woman-focused dating app designed to enhance safety and provide a space for sharing dating experiences and advice. It offers tools for background checks, reverse image searches, and a forum for women to share information and advice about men they are dating or interested in. Now, that all sounds beautiful, and I feel like a lot of people have been saying that, like, all right, this is the reason why this app is good, right, or does good. Now, I do hear that, and then I looked up the app because I just wanted to see what the marketing would look like, or how they're portraying it, right? This app is called T Dating Advice. I looked it up on the App Store, and I'm putting this up on the screen, but if it's broadcasting, the first tagline that I see in the first image is "Get the T on your date." Does anyone have T on Jake? Right? Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, all these apps are in that first frame. The second frame, avoid dating red flag men. He's ghosted me. It's because he's married. Third one, should I date Ethan? Don't date him. Date him. He's just busy. Ask him why he's only on lunch. I'm sorry. This is not a public safety app. This is a social media app. So for anyone saying that this is I want you to go look up the App Store and go look up that app. It is not no safety app, and I understand, because that would be a great app actually for a lot of people, and especially for a lot of women. But this app right here, and this is why it got the craze that it did, and everybody was on Twitter, everybody was on social media, you could see it. The craze that it got was because you're able to say anonymously anything about said guy, and it's marketed like that. It is marketed like that. And I'm not going to lie, I keep seeing a lot of black people on the first couple of frames, so it looks like it's mainly marketed towards black people as well. Also, in addition to that, now, is it marketing genius? Yes. But the app is named T. The T app. And if I'm not mistaken, this is made by a white man. Insane. So I don't be fooled. Don't be fooled at all. And to be honest, I understand there's a data breach. Mad woman got doxxed on that app. I feel bad for y'all. I wish it didn't happen. Doxing is never cool. Never, not at all. Is it a little ironic? It is a little ironic. But no matter what, doxing is not cool. But I would say for the people that did rush to go to the app, maybe for some salacious reasons, maybe 30% of y'all wanted, or 30% of the people that rushed to the app wanted to be, I don't know, wanted to do this for safety. And let's say the other 60%, not other 60%, but let's say other 70% wanted to do it for salacious reasons. Man, it is ironic that you did get doxxed. That is ironic. I feel bad, but it is ironic. And maybe you shouldn't be rushing to go to stuff like that, man. Maybe it's a social media app. You're gonna get doxxed, and for people who are like, oh, you can't be talking about doxing, man. Everybody gets doxxed. Everybody gets doxxed. I see all these texts come through my phone all the time. You don't think I'm doxxed? Look at that meathead. But yeah, so we gonna switch gears again. And I guess it's gonna lead me to the last topic that we'll be talking about today, and that is the Oak Buff discourse with Polo Ralph Lauren. Now, what's interesting about this Oak Buffs type of collab or whatever it's called, there's been a lot of discourse on TikTok, and especially within black media and black discourse about, I guess, dandyism versus it. I guess it's highlighting dandyism and how are we able to do so without being anti-black towards, I guess, other types of style and customizations. So I'm gonna play this one clip from this guy I saw on TikTok that's been going viral. Give me 1 second. When my friends send me some stuff, that's how I know I might need to disagree. So this is the first guy that I saw talking about the topic, and I just saw him going viral after it. But I'm gonna just play it right now.
Target audience for this. It wasn't meant for you, and that's okay. Why is black people being shown in a positive light such a problem for you? We didn't all grow up stealing. In fact, if I'd ever thought about stealing, my mom would probably put me 6 feet under. It's not one band, one sound. We are not a monolith, and we all grew up with different experiences. Not everything is out of a Tyler Perry struggle movie. The same people that have a problem with this are the same people in school talking about, look at that nigga reading. Why does he talk so white? You're so articulate. Are you trying to be white? Just for simply wanting to do well in school. This collection does an excellent job in showcasing that we have diverse styles, diverse opinions within the black community. We started dandyism. We can dress preppy. We can do great tailoring. This collection is out of your budget and that's why you're upset. That's a totally different conversation to have. But in this day and age where we have brands like American Eagle pushing eugenics with Cindy Sweeney, it's even more important to be able to have this type of representation as a part of American culture. And having a major fashion brand like Ralph Lauren doing this is giving it exactly the amount of visibility that it needs to get. Before you guys get on here with your thought pieces, actually think about people that live outside of your bubble. You're not the target audience.
Interesting video. Very interesting video. A couple of things that I have problems with, a couple of things that I do agree with. One, dandyism does come from black people. So getting fly, getting nice in that type of drape and that type of wear is normal. It is very normal. And we also do have black elites. Do not get it twisted. I'm pretty sure they got a whole Martha's Vineyard. I'm pretty sure they got a whole neighborhood out there. Same thing in DC. You know, there's different, back it up a little bit, there's different subsects of our people just in different places, right? I think, you know, I grew up, I never knew about Jack and Jill my whole life until I got to college. I got to college and then people started talking about Jack and Jill like, oh yeah, those, she was Jack and Jill. What is Jack and Jill? Well, Jack and Jill is like what people would say like a Talented 10th type of family program where in Talented 10th, you know, go look up W.E.B. Du Bois, but Talented 10th type of family program where a lot of people, it's basically like a country club for black people, Jack and Jill. And what he's talking about at this moment is that there is subsects of people, especially black people, that there's elites, and not only can they afford this type of stuff, but this is the normal. And with him wearing shades inside, you know, I could tell he's a little bit of that ilk. Now, I think there's ways to be able to highlight this type of this space for black people where there's Martha's Vineyard and we do have rich and elites, and then also not be able to shit on I guess, you know, guys just wearing a Nike Tech or black people wearing a Nike Tech, right? Like, I feel like it stems into the YN conversation where, I don't know, I was just at a bar with my friend and we're just chopping it up and he's like, oh, y'all some some kid came up to us, oh, y'all some YNs, huh? Why? Man, there's just ways, oh, y'all some YNs or whatever, right? And there's just some ways that, like, you just see that there's a complete disconnect between that type of elite and then how they view you and how they view black people in general. I mean, you don't, in my opinion, have to dress classy or preppy in order to be taken seriously. I mean, billionaires dress like our dads. You know, like that's how they dress. I don't think dress has to equate type of class, level, poverty, anything. It doesn't. Now, granted, I like to get fly. I like to wear suits. I like to be dandy at times, and that's my vibe, right? So I do understand looking good and feeling good, and it can be a status symbol at times, but I don't think it has to be the status symbol. So when we talk about these type of collections, yes, it is great that Polo is representing this type of I don't know, subsect of black people that has been doing this dandyism stuff for a whole long time. But at the same time, I don't want people getting on TikTok and be acting like they can call a kid with some Jordans on and a Jordan sweats and a do-rag on and call him a YN, and that's because that's the class that they can put him into. No, man, no. A black elite could wear a do-rag, sweats, and Jordans. So I just want to be careful when we talk about this type of like dandyism and elite versus, I guess, like what? Regular, middle class, poverty, right? Like style does not blend all through these things. Like you could be broke and stylish. You could be broke with Amiris. I know a lot of broke with Amiris. I know a lot. So it's just, it's an interesting conversation to have. First of all, the collection is fire. Good on Polo, and good on the guy that did his, because I got reached out to be able to do a college shoot with I think the same photographer, but I didn't jump on it like a meathead. But overall, I think the collection is very good. It's just the discourse around it sometimes is not always necessary. It could just be a good collection, and you don't have to say not all of us grew up stealing. I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, I'm not an elite, and I didn't grow up stealing, but I didn't grow up poor. You see what I'm saying? Like there's nuances, there's middle grounds that could happen. It doesn't have to always be the way that people are talking about it like that. And I just didn't like the way he was saying it, low key. Like it's not one or the other. There's nuance, as you said, it's not a monolith, but the way that they're making it sound, it's like it is a monolith. And there's a whole different conversation around, I mean, black elites and what they can do for the community, and if they are doing it for the community. That's a whole separate conversation I don't want to get into. But overall, collection was fire. I want to get the name of the dude. Oh, wait. There's a lot more history behind this. Okay, so tucked along the northeastern shore of Martha's Vineyard, Oak Bluffs became one of the only places where black families, including proud alumni of Spelman, Morehouse, and Howard, could vacation freely when segregation shut us out of the beaches. Nicknamed the Black Hamptons, the town has been a sanctuary of legacy, community, and generational joy over a century. By the 1930s, a wave of black home ownership transformed into a summer refuge for the black and middle and upper class. A place to exhale, connect, and claim space proudly. I think there's so much space for black wealthy people to be able to own spaces just like Martha's Vineyard or just like, I don't know, Hamptons type of stuff. I think there's a huge space for that. I like that. I also think, like, it doesn't have to be as, man, I feel like, especially with HBCUs, because HBCU culture can be elitist at times, like it can be. Like thinking about Spelman and all about how all these frats and sororities kind of have all this, power. They do have power within communities, and they click up. And this is years going back down. Like this is not just the last 40 years. This is back, as I said, 1930s, right? So there's a lot of power that comes within that, and a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it unless you're in the college space. But let's say if your parents did not go to college, you don't know about the ties within Spelman, Morehouse, Howard. You don't know those ties. You don't know about none of that. You don't know about Jack and Jill. You don't know about none of that. But let's say your parents did go and you lived in D.C. and now you're seeing, wait, D.C. has full black communities that all their houses cost over $300K. I didn't know that. And that's a lot of people, I feel like, don't know that. A lot of black people don't know that. So yeah, I think this is also, that's what's kind of mixing on TikTok, is that there's people that have no idea about Jack and Jill, And then there's people that live, breathe, and ate Jack and Jill, and they're mixing. So it's interesting to see. But overall, I feel like it's progressive discourse because people need to just speak more. People need to speak more. You don't have to be that definitive on everything, but people just need to speak more. And I think with that, I'm trying to think if there's any other topics. South Park, Oak Bluffs, Goldman Sachs, TAB. I think that's it, man. I think that's it. I like these topics. I hope y'all liked it as well. Very interesting. I will see y'all next week. And I'm gonna take y'all out. What we gonna play for today, man? What we gonna play? All right. After this, I'm gonna stop doing too much hip hop. Of course, I love hip hop, but the bag is deep. The bag is deep. So Freddie Gibbs just dropped, and we're gonna go there, and then next week we'll see what we do. Let's go.
Check. Yeah. Mic check. 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 Bitch. What you wanna do with me? What you wanna do with me? Check. Bitch. Yeah. What you wanna do with me? Check. God damn it. I be goddamn it. First class Virgin Atlantic, stewardess, titties plastic. I'm still gonna squeeze academics, titties, that fat bastard. Gonna diss me and took a plea, he a rap bastard. Show up at your funeral, big Fendi, bitch, 10 blickies. P on city girls like P. Diddy, bitch, get with me. If it's ever
like, share,
me, that's a long shot. I'm busy smoking.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, do what y'all need to do, man.
Father, these niggas flows, I took the long route. Walked through the jungle so most these niggas could run out. Smacking shit at 8 a.m. shoot as the sun out. Effects of being broke, black, agitated, and thugged out. Effects of being young, black, rich, might unalive me. They killed Nip, take off, dog. I see the signs, G, for the fame and the goddamn chain that undermine me. Give a fuck about beef with multiple rappers. I like variety, God damn it, I be goddamn it. I was testing dope with an addict. Henry was speaking Spanish. BZ lost 3 bricks in the package. Mafia trying to whack him. Made it up with interest and taxes. Fuck it, we back in action. Beefing with the gang, about to bust a strap at another faction. Heard he like the shop, I'ma bury him in designer fashion. Honey carrot rabbit, my bunny surfing, my water splashing. Yellow rolly rose.
And we out of here.
I got some lavish habits. God damn it, I be goddamn it. Crack still slamming. I should take another crack at it. God damn it.